Today on What Went Wrong, we talk about the you make your actors do. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I've made over 40 feature films, and one of the most traumatic... Okay, let me rephrase that.
No, let's go with traumatic. I want to hear you run with traumatic. That's what I want to hear right now.
Obviously.
Because I've kissed this woman a ton. It's never been traumatic. So, please, by all means, go.
One of the favorite moments of some people in the Remembering the Innocence documentary about the Innocence saga was a panel discussion we had about a scene in chapter 8 of the saga, Right Here Waiting.
Probably just hoping that Tara does not come back in time for them to see it. If he could just get that one little peck in really quick, and then...
There was a scene... now Right Here Waiting is really where the whole Innocence saga began. It started off as a novel that I'd written in high school, and this scene was in it. It was a man in present day, went back in time, and he met the doppelganger of the woman he was in love with. And then when it came time to shoot this, we had Ryan playing Laura Ashton, who was the doppelganger, and there came a moment, the big moment, where she was going to try to run a con on the Frank Murphy character, and a kiss was involved. And it was a very pivotal moment for Frank, as well as the relationship between Frank and Tara. It was a difficult situation for me, because I was actually in a relationship at the time, and I never considered myself an actor. If I was an actor, it's like, you do what you're told. But I don't consider myself an actor, which is why I don't do certain things. I think one time in one of your movies, you were like, Brett, I got this great scene where I want you snorting cocaine off a hooker's ass.
It's possible that was yeah. That sounds like one of my movies.
As an actor, it's like, well, you got to do it. If you accept that role as part of it, you do it. But I've never considered myself an actor.
Well, it's hard too when you're the writer-director.
Yeah.
Because now it just seems like, well, I'm writing this because I want to get to do the things that happen with this character.
Yeah, there's the optics of that.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that before. You've mentioned in some of the other episodes whenever you talk about being all of those roles and you having to be very careful about what comes up. And I think I've been thinking about this particular episode ever since then, and talking about how I've always appreciated the fact that you do take those things into consideration, because some people don't. And that's why you have people who go, well, I don't know. Somebody else say that we need to do this because I don't know. So, continue.
Whatever do you mean?
Why, Miss Ashton?
Why, Miss Ashton? Whatever do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
all that makes me think of, and am I allowed to talk to people who aren't on camera?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, Scott, when we had that meeting for Cup of Joe, and I told everybody, like, all right, look, we're all supposed to be in relationship married couples, so married couples take showers together, they're naked. If they're in bed together, they're in pajamas. And went on this whole diatribe about, like, doing the things, and then realized, like, I had a scene where I was in the shower, coming out of the shower, we're there, and just going like, I made everybody else do this. I guess I'm naked, getting out of the shower. Someone get me a sock.
Well, that could go back to fits in really well as to what went wrong. I've said many times before, I've always seen Ponderous as practice. That was where I was learning the ropes, and so I don't want to say that I didn't take it seriously, but I also at the same time wasn't able to divide that professional side with the personal side. So I was always looking at it as, well, people are going to think that I'm writing this kiss in because I want to kiss her or whatever. So you have to take a step back and really look at it, whether it's nudity, whether it's a sex scene, whether it's anything. First thing, whether you're involved in it or not, is to ask yourself, is that scene really necessary? Is it important?
Is it fun to film?
And you said you were in a relationship at the time. I was married and had a kid already. And so, yeah, the dynamics become, when you're doing independent film, and like what you're talking about, when you're using it as practice, when you're doing independent film, there's a little less line between the real world
It seems
and the
less a
acting
job.
world. Yeah.
And it becomes your friends. So
Yeah.
it almost becomes, I mean, I hate
Right.
to say this, but it becomes a rotating. I'm using the same 8 actresses and 8 actors, and we're just switching couples or things. People are changing roles. So if the people are cool about it, then it's like, okay, yeah, well, in this film, you and I are together, but in this other film, you and I are together. And oh, by the way, you and that person. And then you have this, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or have fun with it, depending on where you are in your life.
If you're Matthew Hasso and you decide that you have to be like Hollywood films, so you have to have a sex scene in where they're laying in bed naked together and talking to each other, and then everybody in the audience who has worked together is weirded out by the fact that they're watching these people that they know naked in bed together talking. Right.
That was Brett's fault.
No, because I am going to bring this one up. We're going to talk about one of your films here. I directed I had to direct a love scene in one of your films,
Yes.
and I shot it, and then and I tried being very classy, very
Yeah. I was like, no,
decent
dude.
about it,
Make sure I hump her right.
and then you gave it to somebody else. And I to this day, I shake my finger at you because there's that scene where you and the actress
Yes.
are laying on bed, and there's a shadow or something that's just hitting her butt in just the right way that it looked like a stain.
Oh.
Do you remember Do you remember it?
I remember it. I had to re-edit that thing a couple times.
So they could be very awkward, yeah. And being an independent filmmaker, there's that, because especially if you're working with people that you've never worked with before.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to Ballerina, where we're with a Herod, and I think it was her first day of shooting. We're out in the little ranch in Lytle, and there was a I won't even say love scene. There was a sex scene that was in the next day, and we're packing up, getting ready to go. And we had on set that day or earlier
made
that
the
day
joke about-
came up with an idea of her bringing out a condom and throwing it as you're having sex with a prostitute. But we didn't tell her about it. So we're getting ready, packing up, ready to go. And across the set, Matt screams, "Oh yeah, Brett, don't forget the condoms tomorrow."
Yep.
You got to be
eyes.
safe.
Yep.
You have to be safe. In my
Yeah.
defense, you have to be safe.
Her
You just don't
eyes-
know what's going to happen in these things.
Her eyes widened up, and I had to go, whoa. Okay, let me explain. There's a seat. We wrote a joke in on that.
Yeah. Went to audition, and I was there to audition for a secretary role, but it was like a movie where these kids get kidnapped and they're being held by this dude or whatever. And then they were like, "Man, your hair is really long. That would be really cool to just like have it covering everything and have you seen there. Will you audition for this other part?" And in my brain, I was like, I guess so. I'm sitting down and they're like, "Okay, do this and do this." And then I was like, this is weird. And I remember telling Josh, my husband at the time, and he was like, no, we're not. No, we're not doing that. Naked with your hair? No, that's not happening. But there is a line. And especially in independent film, as an actress or an actor, you have to decide before you ever go in there. Where's my line? What will I do? What will I not do? Will I curse in film? Will I not curse in film?
He was an a-hole like you.
An a-hole.
Yeah, this is the 40s. That's how we say that, so that we don't say it because we are polite people.
Try not to. I think Brett might find it more funny now that I just try to avoid it every chance I get. I think he does things just to go and like, I wonder how she's gonna do this.
Yeah, let's see how she deals with this one.
Let's see how she does this one.
But when you start getting to a level where you are a little bit more professional, then there's a joke that I heard recently, and it's asking a girl, "Hey, would you sleep with me for $1 million?" She says, "Well, yes." "Well, would you sleep with me for $1?" "Well, what kind of girl do you think I am?" "Well, we've already established the type of girl you are. All we're doing is negotiating now."
Yeah, now we're negotiating prices.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to say it, and it's going to piss a lot of people off, offend people, but that's actors, actresses. That's what they are. You know, they are whores. Because you're
Thanks
being
for making me do this, Dole. I really appreciate it. Hey, come on my shows. I call you a whore. It's like a bunch of ass being all over the place.
You didn't call me what Brett called me.
Because you are being, you know, and this is
Right.
this is to a limited degree. You know, I mean, and that's a reason why there's a lot of people that we work with that will never be the Angelina Jolies, and because we have morals and ethics, because we're not going to go and do that. We're not going to show our butt in a Matt Hasso film.
Yeah.
You do what
But,
you think
you know,
is,
if
do
you-
what you think is right, and sometimes it's horrible, sometimes it's great.
But again, you know, and I say that as a, you know, I say that, you know, tongue in cheek, because that's everybody in every career. You know, if you want to go as far as you can in a field, you're going to have to make compromises, and you're going to have to make some decisions that you don't want to make. And if you're willing to stick to your morals and your ethics, there's going to be a plateau. There's going to be a place that you can no longer go because you won't cross certain lines.
Right.
Same
Or
thing.
you just
with
have to be so beautiful and talented that you get away with it. But even then, yeah. Nobody here.
but heading back to, you know,
Yeah, it came out of my mouth. I don't know what I'm talking about.
circling back down around to
Yeah.
Right Here Waiting. That was a
1997.
situation where
Yeah.
Right Here Waiting.
Yeah.
No,
97?
that Right Here Waiting.
Why
The
not?
new one, not the first one.
Look, I'm trying to show my knowledge of the show and the things that I've watched by saying
And
I've
that would be Return to
video-
Innocence.
Doggone it. And that's what happens every time.
Foiled by our own petard.
Yeah.
All right.
Right Here Waiting was 95.
It's close. I was only 2 years off.
So here came the kiss. It was in the script, and then I decided, no, I'm going to scrub it. We'll cut away.
Right.
Or, you know, we'll cut away. Or was it a cutaway? I think we were
Okay.
going to cut.
So, if we back up a little bit and just go, originally I auditioned for Carolyn. Did not get Carolyn. I got cast as Sarah, which was with Mickey, one of the innocent killers in the first movie, right? They actually have a kiss that never happened in their scene. We were actually talking the other night. Okay.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, well, because, we were just talking about that last night. So,
not in the script.
Sarah and Mickey.
Now I do remember
Yeah.
that.
Sarah and Mickey are supposed to kiss when they're in Donovan's office, and they're like conniving about what's going to happen, and she's convincing him. She's supposed to be seducing him, basically, into doing this, right? And so there was a kissing scene in that. And then Amanda called me and was like, well, scheduling, whatever, it didn't work out. We want you to be Diane. Okay. This is going on my third role here. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And so when I showed up to set, I didn't even know who I was acting against. I had no idea who Mike was at that point. All of that to say, like, we've been through all this. I've already prepared for a kiss scene at one point, and whenever we get the script for Right Here Waiting, it was like I want to say I had one script that had a kiss, and then got a rewrite, and like it wasn't there anymore. And then I didn't know about all of the behind the scenes commotion that was going on about this one thing. Like,
Cheated on her.
And that's perfect for Mike, because he's a tormented
He's
hero.
gonna have to live with that.
Exactly. That's perfect.
for me, I was already preparing the husband, okay, look, this kid, it's just a simple kiss, like, it's not anything, whatever. So I had already gone through all that whenever I found out what had happened on the other side.
Now, yeah, because we had a conversation. It was probably a poker night or something. I don't
Yes.
remember. And then it came up, and we decided we were going to have a conversation about this because it was coming up. I think it was the
And
next
you
weekend.
filmed it
or
for
the weekend.
protection
Yeah.
of yourself. Yes, it was
Pretty
CYA.
much. I gotta, yeah,
like,
CYA.
here,
This is.
you can see.
Yeah. And it was you and Sergio on one side of the table, and Amanda and Brad on the other. And in the video, I'm just sitting back, and you guys
you're
are
behind
just,
the camera.
you guys are just
You're
going
not even.
back and
You
forth.
just like throw something out every now and then they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was 3 against 1 at that point. I think the 3 of you were against Sergio, and Sergio, because I just remember I have that flash of of Sergio going,
He never
I got
got
the
a
kiss.
chance to build that love with Diane.
That's
It was so
it.
deep rooted.
Yeah.
Everybody invested in these characters.
It was an intense discussion. Everybody was involved in this, and it
And
was
where did your girlfriend fall on that line?
she wanted the kiss.
She wanted the kiss because the characters would have the kiss. And she and I spoke about it after I found out that this whole conversation. She's like, I know, we're all telling him, like, this has to happen.
So I said, and I don't remember what spurred me on to send you the tape, just to say, maybe it was just oh, hey, this is what I don't think I sent it for that reasoning. I think I just sent it to say, this is the
Maybe.
discussion.
It
This
was
is what we were
CYA.
discussing.
Look, see? Here.
Yeah.
Here. We had this conversation. Everybody voted. They said that it has to happen. So, yeah. What was your contribution to the...
I thought you guys should have a kiss.
Uh-huh.
That's all I said.
Right.
Everything
that
else
was
is a
it.
misquote after that. I don't care if you have it on film.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't me.
And this is where we cut to the footage.
Yeah.
It was a deep fake.
That was my doppelganger.
But did he have a goatee?
It's not possible. Not possible. 15 years later, still not possible.
Yeah.
So you get this tape with Jasso.
Yes, because my thing was at the time, I had never similar to you in that, like, I liked acting, but not similar to you, it's different. I liked acting, but it was like, I was taking, I'm going to say overly serious, but I was like, hey, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, then don't do it. Like that, and then I feel like that's with everything. Like if you're going to take martial arts and practice and do all the things.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a movie, you're going to be an actress, or an actor, you have to do these things. And
you're not wrong. You know, you know, and I agree with you. But having done so many films, I knew there was limitation.
Yeah.
You know, to what.
But I think what the whole part is you were concerned about whether she would do it. And I think that part of the conversation is not in that video. What is in the video is it starting and me going,
Call Ryan. She's the one that you're going to be kissing.
No, that's not a factor. She's the actress. I'm not.
Just an actress. She'll do what she's told.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
And I
exactly
meant it
right.
because she was not invested in the. Well, I didn't really mean it anyway. I didn't even know you at that time. I'm like just an actress. But because most actresses, if they're in it and they're doing it and they've read the script and they know what's coming up, well, you know what's coming up. You took the role. You read the script. You know what's up. Either don't take the role and don't do it, or you took the role. You got to do what. I mean, again, you read the script. You know what's up.
Yeah.
And I've had actresses and other things are like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. You took the role. It's in the script. You know, but I've also taken things out or changed things if it was like, okay, is this really important to the story or not? But yeah, ultimately, take the role. You know what's happening, and she knew what was happening. She was down for it. But yes, because I think you and Sergio were pushing back so hard. It was like, and I remember at one point I just I'm like, it's not a sex scene. It's just like a kiss. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You just kiss her. It'll be fine. I assure you, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So then Amanda and I team up. We show up that day. We're shooting everything. You guys have the scene. We get there.
So this lipstick thing was planned then?
Not really. It was just more that she was on board for me to push at whatever I needed to get the kiss taken care of. And then it became this weird thing. It's like, okay, now I really am trying to seduce Brett in order to just... But yeah.
And in between, I'm throwing out
everything
one-liners.
he can to like try and diffuse the situation.
I appreciate the fact that I'm an attractive guy with an attractive butt. Not as good as Matt Hassel.
All
That's
these
true.
things to just diffuse the block.
I wish I had more money to offer you.
I'd take checks.
Truth be told.
And then whenever she's supposed to walk in, Tara is supposed to walk in and catch what's going on, and you pull away and are like, well, Brett, you don't have any
Shit.
lipstick on you though. You would have had lipstick on you.
and then afterwards I remember finally going and telling Amanda, I got it done. I did it.
And then she, bitch.
I know.
Yeah.
And then it was like this
Don't be
weird
kissing my
tension
man.
of, And I was like, oh. Well,
You made me do it.
it's done. We're done. We're good. Yeah. But it is a very awkward situation to be in. An independent film.
Well, it's funny because but there's also a double standard in a way, because I remember when I was shooting, it was like my first film back after my little sabbatical, and Ernest was in a short film of mine called The Strangers, and it was one of those 72-hour film festivals. And there was another actress we never worked with before, and she was like a buddy. She was the girlfriend of one of my other filmmaking buddies. And we had to write the script, and it was like a kiss. So so we're on set, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, okay, no, there's a kiss. Are you okay with that? Are you fine? She's like, yeah, no problem. Okay, well, we're gonna be like this. It's just just press up. No tongue or anything like that. Just make her very comfortable. And we go on. We shoot the scene. Later that night, Ernest leans back. He goes, you didn't ask me if I was all right with the kiss. It's like, oh, well, I didn't even think about it. But he had a point. It was, I should have asked him too. But, it just didn't dawn on me, because I'm always concentrating on, because there's that hierarchy in a way that, the men are the predators and the women are the gentle kinder ones. So the man can take care of himself, but I've got to coddle the actress, So there's that, there was that, and that was kind of a wake-up call to me. I was like, oh, yeah, you know what, I do need to start asking my actors, hey, are you all right to do this? But
I think the most awkward one I had was this short I did with Blaine called Valadorn. And well, I was going to tell that story, tell a different one. But he was having a hard time casting this princess character, and I was supposed to kiss this princess. And I said, hey, there's this girl who works with me at this company. I know she does modeling and all this kind of stuff. I can ask her to do it. He's like, yeah, go ahead and do that. And I think I sent him her pictures or whatever. He's like, yeah,
Somebody who works with you, that is a fantastic idea.
I mean, so when you're an actor.
Yeah.
So I go up to her. I'm like, hey, I know you've done modeling. Have you ever done acting? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, hey, we're making this thing. It's called Short Ends. We're doing this movie. Would you be willing to be in it? I said, but there's a kissing scene. And she's like, ooh, okay. Well, is the person good looking or is he good looking? And I go, well, it's me. And don't answer that question. Just, are you in? And she's like, sure, why not? But it was just this weird,
Can you answer without answering now?
Yeah. Just yes or no. We don't need to get into the other stuff.
So now for me, I am at that stage now where it's, you write the script, you send it out, you gonna do it or not? No, you, okay, I'll go on and it has changed in that way, but I still keep that in mind when I'm playing a role where it's, I'm not leading man material anyways, so I don't really find myself in that position a lot, but I do consider that, and say, okay, well, am I in this role? Well, then I don't want to cast myself in a role that that it's going to be, where I'm gonna have to ask, hey, will you kiss me? Kind of a thing. But as the director now, when I'm casting other people and everything, that's the way it is in the movie. That's the way it is in the script. That's the way I want it. If you get, before you say yes, if you pitch me something, you're like, well, I don't think this, and if I agree with you, then maybe I'll change it. But all in all, it's now in that mindset of me. She's an actress. She'll do what she's told.
Well, and you and I have been in that situation too recently, because they're, like teachers and things like that. And for me, being so involved in the different things that I'm involved in, there has to be a very specific line of these are the things that I'm not going to do. And so even in projects that I'll read and I'm like, oh, I would love to do this. And you and I will talk and I'm like, but I can't do that one. Yeah. And it's hard for me because I fight with it. And Matthew finally was like, no, you just say it. As long as you're telling Brett whatever, he's going to respect the principle of it.
And that happened After the Day. An actress lost out on the role of Red Days. Sorry, because there was a line in there about she was a vampire and he was taunting her, and he called her a
vile horse, Satan.
And she comes back.
I didn't take a dime from Satan. That blowjob was completely complimentary.
And the actress said, I won't say, no, I won't say this. I was like, I'm asking you to say it, not do it. And it was just, well, I just don't want to do that, It's like, all right, I got to find somebody else, And there could have been that, if she was that perfect role, I could have, changed it around a little bit. But the way we are. We're very impromptu. There can be something that comes up on set that we're like, oh, this is freaking hilarious. And when you're making a zombie movie, there's going to be improvs and there's going to be a lot of things. And I don't want to have a great line that I can spit out and the actress won't say it. There's that's the difficult. And I'm so glad that she turned it down, or I didn't, I withdrew it, because the girl that played that, hilarious. It's even funnier too, because there was another scene that she had objected to and said or did something, and it wound up being cut anyways. So interesting. But yeah, it's something, especially in independent film, you have to understand that you may have that professional mind, but keep in mind that not everybody is going to be seeing you in that light, and if you're putting yourself in a scene where you're kissing somebody, there's optics to that could be misconstrued.